Welcome to TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans by wrestling fans on the web today. I'm John. That's my cohort and commentary, Ashton. And this is TWitWoW Weekly Recap. Let's get right into it. I'm going to be straight up with y'all. I think this is the first week that I've really been checked out, even on the YouTube stuff. Like, I think I watched some stuff. I don't even remember it. Don't really even care. And to be quite honest with you, I did not know it was Survivor Series tonight until today. Like a few hours ago, I'm seeing like Facebook posts from like WWE pages, and I'm like, holy shit, it's Survivor Series. So I completely just blanked. That just shows you that I think I'm finally starting to get to the stage where I feel like you've been at, where I'm like, I've got other stuff going on. It was Thanksgiving holiday. I hope you all had an amazing holiday. We just had family leave, so the house is kind of getting back to normal. And yeah, that was really where my priority was, which is also why we really didn't do any like Monday Gold or Stardom this week. It's going to be an interesting week next week. I'll be curious how much backlog we have and how much we're going to have to do. But yeah, I really just did not give a fuck. But I thought, for the show, I would do my due diligence and read these results. And the only two things that I feel like are really worth talking about, mainly because, Dominic regained the IC title, but a lot of people predicted that. I did not. I actually thought Cena would drop the IC title in his last match, give the tournament winner like an extra prize beyond the fact, like, I beat John Cena. No, they're like, John Cena's the prize enough. Okay, cool, whatever. EO killed in War Games again, and the women won, and stuff like that. The two, I guess, interesting things are one, Liv Morgan is back, and love Liv Morgan to death, rooting for her, but she's back. Just in terms of our personal experience, a little late. Because now I'm like checked out, and I'm like, you're amazing, but I don't really care about the company or just the culture or anything. And then apparently in men's War Games, I just saw that a masked man came, did like Seth Rollins' super kick to a kneeling opponent, and then did a curb stomp that looked a lot like Seth. But I mean, we know Seth had a severe knee injury. He's going to be out indefinitely. So I highly doubt it's him, especially because, Braun Breaker speared him and Bronson Reed did a tsunami on him. Wouldn't make any sense for him to help those guys, even though he hates CM Punk. I don't think that hatred is enough of a justification for it to be Seth. So I'm curious who it'll be. I saw somebody in the comments where I read this news on, because I did it on No DQ just to give proper attribution, that it could be Austin Theory, which, ew. I immediately just
Having
don't care.
actually been awake and watching this part, I don't think it was Theory because Theory is bigger than Seth and a hell of a lot stiffer in terms of the way that he moves. He's just not a very smooth athlete. And whoever this was definitely was a smooth athlete and could move around pretty well. And they also looked a lot more slender than Seth. Here's my thing. I think that it's supposed to be Seth, but I think that it was a basically like a stunt double, like a body double, and I think that the person who was actually under that mask was Nathan Frazier because he moved more smoothly, and that's we know Frazier's whole thing is that he's a fast little shit. And he was like more of a slender guy to the point that when I first saw the person, I legit thought it might have even been Becky. But then I realized that they were bigger than Becky. So I'm thinking it was someone who's more in between Seth and Becky size wise, who can move relatively smoothly in the ring. And that's why my mind went to Frazier, because he literally is a student of Seth Rollins. He went to his wrestling school.
I'll ask you a follow-up question because I like where your head's at. My ears pricked up when you used the phrase stunt double, and I get like what you mean. It's not clarification. I want to go deeper on that though. You don't think that this is an explicit push for Frazier? Do you think this is just to keep Seth Rollins in the fans' minds because he's going to be gone indefinitely?
Yeah, I think this isn't going to be anything where Nathan Frazier actually gets revealed to be the person that was under the hood. I think that it's just that they needed somebody who was built kind of like Seth, who knew how to do moves like Seth, and Nathan Frazier just fit the bill. I could be wrong. It didn't have to be Frazier. That's just my guess. That's my speculation. But
I think it's a very educated guess, though.
I think that in terms of the storyline, it is going to turn out that it was Seth Rollins from a story standpoint, but it physically could not have been possibly Seth in reality.
Yeah, I like where your head's at. You aren't who I have the problem with. I mean, of course, have you seen your own face? But I don't like the ramifications of that long term because Seth already lied about an injury once, and to do it again, like like in a similar way to when Cody worked hurt. I just worry how like that kind of storytelling would affect other workers in the future because they could be hurt, and then the fans could just be like, "Oh, well, it's a work, right? They're going to be here," and then they're just setting themselves up for disappointment. So I don't know if I'm thrilled about that, if that's the route they're going. But again, I
Yeah.
think it's a very educated route that your mind thought of. Gonna be honest, man, beyond all that, I don't care. Like I was just checked out this week.
Dude, same.
So I really have nothing to
Absolutely,
say. Yeah,
100% same for sure.
yeah.
I literally the only reason that I know any of this shit is because my mom wanted to watch the show and I had it up on the TV. Because I subscribe to ESPN Unlimited through my Disney Plus Hulu bundle, so it only costs me like an extra $20, and it's because I wanted to use it to watch Monday Night Football games. So I was able to just pull it up on the TV on my ESPN Unlimited, and so my mom was able to watch it. I slept through the first hour and a half of the show, and then when I was waking up, it was during Cena Mysterio, so I got to see like the tail end of that, and then the last two matches, and even then, I was paying like 15% attention.
Yeah, don't blame you at all. So we're just gonna move right along here to politics. And again, this might, and I know I said this last week, and I really should stop saying it because I look like a jackass every time, but I really do think this is gonna be a shorter segment. Mainly because if I'm being truthful with you all, I'm really getting sick and fucking tired of living here. Now, granted, that has been the case for years for anybody that really knows the real me. And if you do, congratulations. That means I feel very safe with you and I trust you. That is a big deal to me. But yeah, really just getting sick and tired of these fucking fascists and these fucking clowns.
Honestly, I feel like there
Big
wasn't
things.
a ton happening in like actual politics. Like actual politicians didn't really do a whole hell of a lot this week, and that's probably because of Thanksgiving. But I feel like AI has really been ramping up this week. Like there have been a lot of stories about the drawbacks of AI this week, from what I could tell.
Oh, there. Believe me, we're going to talk about it. That will probably dominate this segment. But just very quickly, U.S. is looking to kind of take control of Venezuelan airspace.
Yeah.
Again, I just want to say that TwitWoW and really me, because I'm self-aware enough to know that I shoot off at the mouth a lot with my leftist rhetoric. I don't have any substantive opinions, and therefore I would extend that to all of TwitWoW that we don't have extended opinions, substantive opinions on the Maduro government in Venezuela. I know it has its problems. Every government does. I stand by the fact that governments in Latin America and governments that try and do communism, socialism will always be hampered. Now, that's not a justification for their actions, but they're not always going to do as well as like, oh, well, then why is this metric like this? You have to take into account U.S. sanctions. You have to take into account blockades. You have to take into account capitalist states coming in and making a concerted effort to make sure any communist or socialist experiment fails. Right. So that's just, and Venezuela's had to deal with sanctions for years and years, much like Cuba. But of course, there are problems just inherent in any government leader, which is why we advocate a stateless society. We're very sympathetic to the anarchist position. That being said, no war with Venezuela, no fucking U.S. imperialism. I'm especially going to crow about this probably a lot more going forward because I've been reading more anti-colonial, anti-imperialist literature, leftism from the eastern side of the world. And Jesus fucking Christ, Europe and the United States have no reason to exist. I'm just going to say that flat out. I mean, what a horrible fucking nightmare. So yeah, Venezuela is going to get ugly probably real quick. Big news domestically, of course, the National Guard shootings. I believe one died, but I think the other was critically injured, but is probably going to pull through. And I've been hearing crazy stuff about the shooter. How much do you know about this, man? I want to check in with you real quick.
All I
This
know,
DC shooting.
all I know is that the shooter was from Afghanistan, and I think that they applied to become a citizen in like 2021, but then they didn't get confirmed and like actually officially made a citizen until like April of this year under the Trump admin.
Yeah. Um, Here's what I'm going to say straightforwardly without dipping really at all, if I can help it, into conspiracy rhetoric, because I have been reading and hearing a lot about this guy, none of which, if I'm being truthful, I really could take off the table just because we live in such chaotic and really just utterly clownish times is that regardless of what the truth of this man is, and I read the same things you did, by the way. That's why I wanted to check in with you about what you were seeing and what you were reading. I'm just saying I've also heard other stuff that I'm not going to get into. But regardless of the truth of this man beyond the immigration status and confirmation, the right never fails to capitalize on an opportunity. We saw it with Charlie Kirk. We're going to see it again here. They're going to crack down on immigration. They're going to use this as a pretext, much like 9/11 was the pretext of the Patriot Act and expansion of NSA powers. I think the goal for the techno oligarchs has always been, surveillance. We know Peter Thiel is a huge thing about that. That's Palantir, right? That's the whole point of that.
You got it.
I'm standing. You all right, brother?
Yeah, I was just agreeing with you.
Okay, yeah, you sounded far away, so I wanted to check in. Bioscanning, facial recognition, technologies like that, and it's just this is what they want. I gotta say though, guys, and maybe this is like perversely optimistic because I know how morbid it sounds. I really do feel like we're at a tipping point where not just the fascism in particular, the Trumpist moment that we're in, but really just the whole empire is going to collapse. We're going to talk about AI here in a second, and I actually want to hand that over to Ashton to start because, bro, if you wouldn't mind, I'd like you to repeat for posterity for the podcast what you wrote to me in the politics channel and Discord about NVIDIA and their like
NVIDIA.
dominant
It's
market share in
NVIDIA,
the
but yeah, I will.
NVIDIA. But yeah, the dominant market share with AI and chips and stuff like that. I really do feel like Empire's coming to an end. And it's so funny because just to go back real quick, and I don't really like to get into all my nerdy stuff because I just assume you guys don't give a shit. And I don't want to bore you guys with the stuff that I'm reading. But it's funny that anti-colonial theorists, they always saw this coming because there's a lot of scholarly debate about what caused the fall of Rome. Well, it didn't fucking help that they destroyed every other civilization and kind of subsumed it into its empire, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's what Europe and the US did. And both entities, I think, are in periods of great stagnation. I'm actually very curious about the European future because ever since Pete Hegseth said we can't be the guarantor of Europe's safety on the world stage, I've been hearing that Europe's been pouring a lot into military spending. But the downside of that is, just from history, that I feel like a lot of welfare austerity is going to be the result of that. To justify that spending militarily, it's going to be pensions being cut, health care being cut. I mean, God, the UK used to have a great health system, but I've been hearing that the NHS has been going down the shitter for years because that's where austerity always is first, things that really benefit the working class and the poor, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, I think Europe is in a stagnant place. And you hear a lot of rhetoric about assimilation and again, blaming migrants, i.e. migrants are not the fucking problem. The military industrial complex is the fucking problem in the US. And now we're going to go to AI here because I have seen multiple, whether it's YouTuber essayists or news articles saying that this economy that we're in right now is being upheld by AI investment. And if that investment stops or what have you, recession is guaranteed. I feel like recession is the least of our worries. I'm really thinking depression inevitably with this economy. I do think the AI bubble is going to burst. I've been saying that repeatedly. But
It
as
needs to.
promised, I'm going to
It
hand it over.
really, really needs to.
I want you to go further into those opinions too, because I know you said that to me in conversation. And I found your opinions fascinating. So I'm going to give you the floor on this because I actually feel like you're just so much smarter on tech than I am. And even though I've been watching a lot of video stuff on AI and educating myself, so have you. So floor is yours. Tell them about, just the market share and things that are happening that you told me.
Well, I don't know shit about market share, but what I do know is that
You know what I mean.
the
Yeah.
AI bubble is really genuinely fucking up pricing on all kinds of tech stuff. We talked about the Steam machine that's going to be coming out at the beginning of next year. If Valve did not buy, and I mean like bundles, like buy an absolute heap of memory and storage earlier on in the year before prices exploded, those Steam machines might have to get canceled, or at the very least, they're going to have to get priced up to like $900 to $1,000 because right now, a 32 gigabyte set of memory, computer memory, RAM, that you could have, you could have bought earlier on in the year for like $80 is now looking more like $170 to $250. Um, Storage, a 2 terabyte stick of storage that you might have been able to find earlier this year for like 80 or $90 is now 160 to 170. And now I'm seeing there is a rumor, this has not been confirmed from what I understand, but there is a rumor that apparently Nvidia is legitimately considering shipping their graphics cards without bundling them together with the built-in VRAM that they are supposed to come with. So they're basically saying we are choosing to not buy video RAM anymore, and we're going to just ship the actual GPU chip to these manufacturers, and they have to fend for themselves in terms of how much VRAM they buy up to attach to these chips. And that's the thing is like, part of me is like, oh, well, that might be a good thing. Maybe we could get like an RTX 5060 with like 12 or 14 or 16 gigs of VRAM. But from what I understand, NVIDIA does still put limits, or I should say maximum limits on how much VRAM can ship with their GPUs. So they would be saying basically like, here's a GPU, you're on your own in terms of buying the VRAM for it, but you're not allowed to attach more than X number of VRAM gigabytes to it either. So this is going to drive the prices of video cards up significantly. Of new, I mean, it's probably also going to increase the used market, but not nearly as much, I would imagine. Um, so Nvidia is now going to be shipping, and again, this is a rumor. This is something they might do. It's not something that they've officially started doing yet. Shipping their video cards to manufacturers that actually sell the actual like put together GPUs to people without VRAM. So it's gonna, that's another thing that's gonna get the cost is gonna get brought down to the customer. We're going to basically, if people who want to buy video cards are going to have to pay more for the video cards because the manufacturers are now having to buy their own VRAM rather than just getting them from NVIDIA. That's a huge problem. And then we also just literally, John, we just saw this today, saw that apparently Amazon Prime has been using AI to dub some of their anime.
Can I take the floor on this one actually?
I went silent so that you could, yes.
I appreciate you and thank you for that breakdown on Nvidia and everything going on there because yeah, they are such a market player. That's really fucking bad. So with the anime stuff, oh god, I got to keep my anger under control because I love animation and I love, talented voice acting. It's beautiful whether dub or sub. Um Guys, it is fucking awful. So the first controversy was with an anime, Banana Fish, and I watched a YouTube video. Who is the YouTuber? Because I know he's more of a prominent one. You know what? Let me just
pull it up. Are you talking about the one that was posted in the Discord that was Moist Critical?
Yes, Moist Critical. Yes, Moist Critical talks about it. He didn't share any clips from it, but you know what? He didn't need to because I got my own taste of AI dubbing, which I will get to in just a second. And fans had waited years for this. It's I think a queer anime actually, so that community was really looking forward to it, and it apparently was unwatchable fucking dog shit. And voice actors have come out and said, that this is an insult to the art, it's an insult to consumers, and it's an insult to us. And keep in mind, guys, even before AI, VAs were getting paid like shit, right? The animation industry and the VA industry do not get paid nearly, in my mind, what they deserve. And now, big corporations and big companies are looking to just phase them out altogether. So Banana Fish was a big insult to those communities that don't really get representation in anime that often. And I don't really know anything about the anime, so I don't know if it was like a comedy or if it was more drama or anything like that. So anybody that's a fan in our chat, potentially, please feel free to chime in. What I can fucking tell you, holy shit. So sometimes the algorithm, even though it hates me, sometimes it gives me stuff to work with because Amazon is still going full steam ahead with fucking the AI dubbing. And now they're trying to AI dub this anime No Game, No Life, which people, again, much like Banana Fish, waited years for like a follow-up or a proper dub or whatever after the first season. In this case, they were waiting for years for season 2. And then they get an AI version. I saw a clip of it, bro. Holy fucking shit, dude. It is the worst thing. And Ashton can vouch for me here. You know that I'm hard on a lot of dubs. And that I usually prefer sub most of the time.
Yeah, you
dude,
you are definitely you have a way higher bar for dub voice acting than I do. That's for sure.
Yeah. And I embrace that. He's absolutely right. But I will say this. I will give just one anime as an example. And Foster, I love you so fucking much. That goes without saying. And I do say this kind of in jest, but I'm also sincere. I hated the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX dub for a lot of voices. Sean Schemmel kind of redeems it for me a little bit, but so much of the dialogue is cringe. I guess the performances themselves aren't bad, but just, oh God. I will tell you, that is fucking Oscar worthy compared to the AI sample for No Game, No Life that I heard. The guy, it sounds a bit more human, but you can tell clearly he's AI. But the girl in the scene that I watched, because I know nothing about this anime, right? So I'm going in blind. Complete AI. Not even trying to disguise it as, oh, could that be human? The guy, a little bit, but you could still hear how jilted the delivery is. The girl, no fucking shot. No, it was like she was speaking through Google Translate or some fucking shit. I hated it. I'm like, oh my God. If this is the future of the industry, it's breaking my fucking heart because, guys, living in this world is so fucking hard. We're dealing with disaster capitalism, climate catastrophes, fascism. Art is sometimes the only refuge a lot of fucking people have. If you take the art from us, what the fuck is fucking left? Right? Like I know like I'm getting way too existential about like anime here, but like seriously, if the art isn't even made by humans, if you can't even get human fucking soul or values or whatever in fucking art and that's produced by fucking slop, where do you escape it? Where do you escape the hell that we're all fucking in? It would be amazing if AI taking over culture really was a catalyst for more revolutionary activity because this is intolerable. This is fucking intolerable. I don't know, man. That when I saw that clip, the color just drained from my fucking body and I'm like, I love this art too much to settle for this dog shit. I hope I never hear about Saru Science, or I think it's Science Saru, the company that does Don Da Don. I hope I never hear them say, yeah, we're looking at AI, and Netflix being like, oh yeah, do it, because I swear to God, like I don't really care too much for the Don Da Don dub, but that is leagues better than what AI could do. Bar fucking none. Bar fucking none. I'm horrified. I'm horrified. Culture's the last thing we have fucking left. We cannot let them do this. And again, I want to be clear because I said this in the Discord. I do think AI has a place in an evolving industrial society. I do. I try not to be a Luddite. I try not to be a primitivist in my leftist politics. I know Ashton's the same way. I think for me, I need AI to be scaled to be more energy efficient because I think it's way too consumptive and energy intensive right now as it is. And two, I think you really need to localize its fucking use to like medicine. I think if you wanted to use it to project climate models for agriculture, for infrastructure, whatever, yes, I think scientific medical purposes, it has a place. But for me, personally, and maybe I'd even change my mind on this over time, but as it stands right now, I don't want AI in the culture industry at all. No AI writing books, no AI making music. And if you're going to do that, there should be labels on like songs or art or books or whatever AI generated so that you know what you're buying. And then if you buy it at that point, cool, right? But I don't like duplicitous practices. I would never want anybody to buy a book and be like, huh, and then it revealed to be like written by AI. But I think the deception is a huge part of the appeal, as we're seeing with like AI generated images and stuff. I really, really do not like where this is going. I wish I could link you guys to the dub clip that I heard because it was bad. I tried to find a YouTube version to post in the Discord, and I could not find one. But go to the Facebook page, Daily Dose of Anime, and look it up. They posted this 8 hours ago if you're on Facebook. and then open the comments. The first comment is them sharing a clip if you're brave enough. I unfortunately was, and I hated it. So, yeah, that was my adventure today that made me hate life even more than I already do. Have you experienced any, like, anime AI dubbing or anything? Or have your ears been spared so far?
No, yeah. Thankfully, I've managed to avoid being shown anime AI dubbing.
Yeah, oh, dude. I am rooting for you that you avoid it until your last breath is taken because, first of all, you just specifically do not deserve that at all. I also, you know how I always calculate the math about how much I deserve something? I can definitively say I 0% deserve this. I didn't deserve that happening to me. I don't know how I'm going to recover, but life finds a way, I guess. So yeah, guys, just keep making art, please. If you're a writer, keep writing every day, even if you're jotting something in a journal. If you're drawing, draw every day, even if it's a simple sketch of fucking fruit. Don't don't let them do this. Please don't let them. Like, I'm worried because you guys know that I'm an independent scholar in philosophy. Already in the humanities, I can tell you I'm friends with, a few professors and everything. All the students use Chat GPT. Even some professors are using it to grade the paper. So there's a feedback loop of both producing the content and then assessing the content all through AI. I saw an I saw an article. Now, I don't think the author was like in the pro camp. I'm not trying to put anything on the author, and I still have to read the essay. I'm very curious to read it. But one lament that I've had, it's a beautiful lament, but it's when a philosopher dies without ever having finished a work that they were planning. My favorite philosopher, Deleuze, always planned a work on Marx that he never got to do. And now they're saying, oh, could maybe AI of these philosophers do the works that they couldn't complete? And I'm like, no, no, don't do this to me, please. Don't do the one anchor I really have that fucking keeps me here fighting for this fucking shithole fucking Western Hemisphere. Oh my God. And I'm specific because, again, I'm reading more anti colonial stuff. And I know what the problem is. The problem is not the Earth, the problem is the global capitalist class. Okay, so that is very different from the Earth. The Earth has 8 billion people on it, of which a fraction of a fucking percentage is making life hell for all of us. And dude, you have no idea because I don't think it's dissociating. I am mystified anymore. In my really quiet moments, I just kind of sit and I stare. So maybe I am dissociating. I don't fucking know. And I just think it is amazing that a small collective of people can poison our air and water, can change our food. Because I saw Super Blue posted that thing about a new PFAS chemical for a pesticide, and I just got done fighting, because it's affecting a lot of stuff that I eat, with my diet. I'm like, fuck it, because if it's not that, it's probably going to be the climate that gets a lot of it. I don't fucking know, but they're able to do all of this, and then when we're like, hey, can you maybe not do that? Like, I don't want to die. They're able to say, fuck you and no consequences. It's almost impressive if it wasn't so disgusting. A small percentage of people are ruining all of our lives. Never forget that. And it's not the migrants, it's not the Jews, it's not black people, because that's all divisive bullshit, right? It is the rich. It is the affluent, predominantly white, male fucking capitalists. Although, don't worry, I am an equal opportunity offender. Any other billionaires that are women or black, you can get it too, right? Because identity politics has a limit when it serves capitalist fucking interests. But they are predominantly white and male, and they benefit from racism. They benefit from xenophobia because it keeps the target off of them. And these fucking tech bros, they're making AI too. I mean, we've had a good laugh about Elon's AI Grok, that it was made to just praise Elon all the time and regurgitate far right talking points until, because again, literally everyone is smarter than he is. People started asking questions like, hey, who gives better BJs, Nancy Reagan or Elon Musk? And Grok would say Elon Musk. Somebody asked Somebody asked who could groom more kids in an hour, Elon or Epstein. Grok said Elon Musk. So you're never going to win against people jaded enough that have nothing better to do with their time than to make your life shit, which I will go on record as saying to Elon, that's an excellent use of people's time, shitting on this man. But that's what it is. It's an ego fluffer and it's a profit saver because they fucking hate all of you. They hate your friends that are working or your family that are working or just you if you're working class. And they want to save even a few pennies on the fucking dollar that they could be like, oh, I didn't have to pay a human worker for this. It's happening with VAs and it's going to happen to every industry that is applicable to AI before too fucking long. I think it was Amazon wanted to replace 60,000 workers with AI. Why the fuck do you think that is? Because recently, in the last two
I
to
wonder
3
what
years, I'd
percentage
say,
of that 60,000 is voice actors that they're replacing with AI.
that's a good question. But I was thinking more. I wonder how many of those 60,000 workers were part of unions that were winning elections. To unionize certain warehouses and stuff like that, because it's another union busting tactic. It's another profit squeezing tactic. These people are fucking disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
And there is enough food and water and space to accommodate all billions of us. But these people keep sucking up all the resources that we could use for ourselves to make life beautiful because of this warped fucking capitalist ideology where there's never enough for them. They're never sated. They literally imitate the cancer cell. They believe in growth for its own sake, not thinking about any far-reaching consequences. And because then in their mind, in their childish, infantile fucking minds, you know what their answer is? It's the Elon answer, and it's the other answers of people like fucking Gates, and I know Bezos has started to do space exploration. Oh, we could just take up space on the moon. Oh, we could just do it in space. So now you're going to pollute the cosmos with your fucking bullshit. I hate these people. I hate these people with a fucking passion. And I should stop myself because I promised my family I wouldn't get too radical with the fucking rhetoric. But seriously, people, it's cause and effect. It's really cause and effect. Really ask yourself, honestly, and I know our audience will already agree, it doesn't fucking matter. But anybody that would happen to listen, maybe somebody that wants to tell me that I'm a woke tard and wants to, call me the R word, because
What?
apparently they were celebrating. Well, yeah, like woke and then combined with the R word. That's
Oh,
what
I
I'm,
didn't realize you said woke. I thought you said woke,
yeah.
and I was very confused.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's okay. Because they're celebrating that the president used the R word on Tim Walz this week. I mean, literally, libs of TikTok was like, "We're so back, we can use the R word again." If that is your idea of a victory for your political movement, I won't even call it trash because even raccoons would. I'm not touching this fucking shit. It's fucking awful and pathetic, and you're sad fucking people. But anybody that would want to just come at me being like, "Oh, what a woke snowflake." I forgot because you entered. I'm trying to think what I wanted to say. Oh yeah, okay. Really genuinely ask yourself when a trans person or a migrant or a black person or just a person that doesn't look like you really, really affected your life, because I know you're aggrieved and you think if it wasn't for them, I would have achieved greatness. No, you wouldn't have. No, you wouldn't have, because even if you had the genuine talent and potential, your gatekeepers were always the billionaires and they were never going to let that happen up to a certain point. Unless you serve them and their values, it's never going to fucking happen. So maybe get your head out of your ass and learn who the real fucking enemy is. I really cannot believe they've been getting away with this for centuries, because that's the final point I want to make before I breathe after having taken up all the oxygen in my fucking room here. It didn't begin with Trump, and that's where liberals are really getting on my last nerve. I don't miss Obama. I don't miss Biden, because it's just all the same fucking class. It's an exclusive club and you're not in it. These people have been ruining lives for centuries. Colonial efforts led by rich people. Fucking alienation and the neoliberalization of certain industries and institutions like higher ed, fucking rich people. Suppressing activists for greater democratic measures or environmental protections or whatever cause you believe in, fucking rich people. It always comes back to them. I swear, if we had some kind of charismatic leftist leader, I mean, it probably wouldn't last very long. The CIA would probably assassinate them. But just being as insistent about rich people being the problem as rightists are about migrants being the problem, Jesus fucking Christ, we would have it made. But unfortunately, no, because even the Dems, who, let's be honest, are really just a center-right party, openly have discussions funded by billionaires, again, saying, maybe sort of kind of we can throw trans people under the bus. Fuck you. Fuck you. I'm so fucking tired of living here. I swear the AI news coming out today, I think that broke something inside of me. I think I've been able to keep it together okay. And then I'm like, we're not even going to have culture to escape with, because every voice that I hear when I'm looking at beautiful animation, which who even knows if that was AI generated too, like it's just going to be a robotic fucking voice. And they're going to be like, man, I saved so much fucking money on this. You people believe in nothing. You people only believe in money, and you can't eat your fucking money when the planet's fucking destroyed. My God. Okay. I'm done. I need to stop. Otherwise, I'm gonna give myself a fucking stroke. Um, and so yeah. I'm trying to think if there was any other worthwhile stuff in politics this week. Again, Venezuela's on my mind. Israel keeps on its fucking bullshit. We're not doing a genocide. We're the victims because of course you are. Of course you are. Let me think. Oh, Ukraine. I really need to look more into because I know that was another big thing that a peace deal was proposed for Russia, Ukraine. Apparently, it's a shit deal for Ukraine. Pretty much the peace deal, from what I'm hearing, was pretty much the Putin peace plan, which I'm guessing amounts to you give us everything and you'll get nothing and like it. So that's great. I mean, I have my misgivings about the Zelensky government. I always have since this conflict started, which is why you don't really hear me speak about Russia, Ukraine much because I really don't like either entity. But I definitely think Ukraine is by far the lesser of two evils. But yeah,
Well,
that's
and,
cool.
and the
That's
other
cool.
big thing about that is even if you don't want to actively root for Ukraine, rooting against Russia is the only way to go because Russia, if they take over parts of Ukraine, they're never going to stop. They are like a cancer cell. They're going to want to keep fucking
Yeah.
spreading and spreading. Next, Poland is next, and then we're talking about like a hot World War III rather than, the proxy World War III that we've had for the last couple years.
Yeah, you're 1,000% right. I even thought we were going to be there a few months ago, if you remember, because I think it was Poland. It's funny you mentioned them that really wanted to invoke, what was it, Article 23 or 25 of the UN, saying,
I have
hey,
no clue.
can you guys back us up? Yeah, I don't know either, but I know they were trying to invoke some article with the UN being like, hey, member nations, back me up here. You see what he's trying to fucking do, right? Like, this is fucked. So I don't know. I really like we are at globally. I'm speaking globally because I know no two nations are the same. Some nations are quietly doing really well. Looking at you, China. I'm telling you guys, it's a Chinese century. The sooner we all accept that, the better off we're all going to be. And, looking at things geopolitically and our analysis and everything else. India is very interesting with Modi because I think he's getting very wealthy and his government's really expanding its powers that way. But I think the public's very obviously dissatisfied. Javier Milei, I really can't believe $40 billion went to Argentina. Javier Milei, I think, won re-election recently. Guarantee you that election was fucking compromised because everything I've been seeing, the people fucking hate Milei. But then again, what do I know? Yeah, I just feel like so much is happening globally where we are seeing spasms, and I think it's the precursor to a new epoch. I've been saying it's a multipolar order. The U.S. is no longer the world's police. They're still a big nation and an influential nation, but that influence is dropping quick, especially with this fucking clown show, which I, as a leftist, honestly look at as a net positive long term. There should have been a far more painless way to get there, but anything for the U.S. empire to just fuck off and die, I honestly support at this point because it's been ridiculous. We need other nations to have self-determination for better or for worse. And if it's for worse, we need to let uprisings organically happen within those countries' borders. No, we're going to go on a democratizing mission because we all know how that fucking shit ends. So yeah, big things happening, guys. Big things happen. I think 2026 is going to be crazy. I think the next 5-10 years are going to be fucking nuts. And with AI here in this country, I really don't fucking know because here's the thing, the bullshit bill, they took out the provision of no regulation on AI for 10 years, but now they're trying to enforce that in other ways. They're trying to say that they will federally sue any state that does regulation on AI. And you've already got so many representatives and institutions complying in advance because they're scared of lawsuits and they're scared of the federal government. And that's not a misplaced fear by any means or an unjustified fear, but he's a fucking bully that's fucking sundowning, which is like a dementia term. It's like you're good at some part of the day, and then when the sun goes down, it's like night night because that you got the best out of me, and now it's whatever. I'm gonna stare vacantly at the wall for 6 hours. You got a sundowning fucking president and fascist fucking ghouls like Miller and Vote, and it's just really it's fucking disgusting. It's fucking disgusting. And then everybody that's so shocked by what's happening, it was in fucking Project 2025. I only read a few pages of it, but I believe the TikTokers and the other people that did the painstaking labor of reading the fucking document and telling me, hey, this is what they're doing. Like I don't know. I'm feeling very disgusted today and a tinge misanthropic. But yeah, that's politics. If there's anything you wanted to say more about AI or just anything going on, man, I will give you the floor.
I
Any
covered
other opinions you
AI.
want to share?
I covered all of the AI stuff that I wanted to cover before handing the ball back to you.
Well, I appreciate your face, friend. Let's talk about popular culture stuff. So yeah, it's been interesting because you and I we're still keeping up with it. Welcome to Dairy. That's been really good. We actually got caught up with both St. Denis Medical season 2, which that's been a lot of fun, and the final season of Bel Air, which I've been enjoying. Although, my God, 4 fucking seasons in, Carlton, why are you the worst? Why? I wanted to really root for you this last season. And what you did, I don't want to get into specifics because the season's still relatively new, so I don't want to spoil for anybody that may have not even known that it dropped because I don't even know if an official trailer got released. I'm assuming it did, and somehow I missed it. But he does something really fucked up this season, y'all. You'll know what it is when you see it. I just went right back to being like, man, fuck you, Carlton. So, but I'm really enjoying Bel Air season 4. I'm gonna miss this cast. I'm gonna miss this show when it's completed, but at least it gets to finish its run. Unlike other really wonderful black lead and black dominant shows like Wonder Years, for instance.
Damn,
Which
so
also
you
should have been able
decided
to
you wanted
finish.
to hurt me today, huh?
Yeah, well, you could tell from the politics section that I'm just feeling very aggro, and I feel safe with you, which is also really toxic because, like, why then would you hurt that person? So I'm sorry. I won't be getting help, but I'm sorry. Um, so Bel Air, St. Denis Medical, newest episode of South Park, which is the Thanksgiving episode. They caricatured Pete Hegseth this week. Um, a good caricature, but too sober for our tastes. I know you and I talked about that a lot. Not one drinking scene in there. Goddamn.
Yeah,
Um,
weird.
Trying to think what else. You know what? I'm gonna hand it over to you. You're always good about remembering stuff that you did or that we did. What else was going on? Even if you oh yeah, Stranger Things season 5 part 1, of course, that was the big one. I've been seeing a lot of talk about that.
Yeah.
I personally just putting everything I'm learning about certain cast members and stuff aside and looking at the performances, I thought the performances were great. I think it's been a strong season so far. I'm looking forward to part 2. I thought the way the part 1 ended was pretty fucking cool from where I sit. So how have you thought about it so far?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I thought that the first 4 episodes of season 5 were great. Um, I do really appreciate that they're really going into Will, and it's like we finally kind of have Will being allowed to be himself this year or this season. Because season 1 he was in the Upside Down all year. Season 2 he was being harassed by the Mind Flayer all season. Season 3 he was literally just desperately trying to get back to normal, and the guys just wanted to be obsessed with their new girlfriends, and all Will wanted to do was play D&D and chill, and they just didn't want to give that to him. And then when they did finally play D&D, they did it in like a mocking this shit's so lame kind of way, and it fucked him up. Then in season 4 he's off in California, I think it was, or Washington, I don't even remember what state they moved to, and they are like in school, and then Mike shows up, and the whole season is just Will mourning the fact that he's never going to have more than friendship with Mike, and trying to like hype Mike and Elle up as a couple just because he's a good friend. And now finally we have Will actually being allowed to be himself, actually being allowed to have a personality, have an actual character. And I think it's been great. I've been enjoying it. I also have really enjoyed Eleven's arc, as far as like her going through like the training in the woods, and her eventually ending up in the Upside Down with Hopper, and the two of them really getting to be a team finally. I think this is the first time really that we've ever gotten to see Eleven and Hop really team up on anything, because she was living with him as like a father-daughter situation where he was very like authoritative, because he was trying to protect her from being seen by anyone publicly. And then season 3, she was just Mike's girlfriend, and that was pretty much her whole season. And then eventually, she had the arc in season 4, where and really also I should say in season 3, a big thing with 11 was the whole arc with the Mind Flayer, which turned out to be Vecna, I guess, or like a soldier of Vecna, uh, trying to like take her powers, and it succeeded. And then we get to season 4 where Vecna is using Eleven's powers to get into these people's heads and corrupt, or not corrupt them, but like kill them, and create these portals. And the whole season, though, 11 is going from being bullied and lying about her bullies to Mike to then trying to get her powers back. That's the whole season. So now this season we finally get 11 and Hopper getting to actually be a real team, and it's really great to see. So those are my two biggest sort of positive takeaways of the season so far. Also, Max showing up in the memory in the Henry Creel memory that Holly ended up in. Really, really cool to see her back. I know my mom, I think Max is her favorite character, so it was really cool to see Max return, and my mom's reaction to that was great too.
Excellent. Trying to think. I mean, I've been keeping up week to week also with Smiling Friends. It's funny because my brother-in-law's dad, he watched episode of that for the first time. He didn't like it. I know everybody's got a different sense of humor, but I love it. I think it's been a very strong season. Shout out to Rotten Butter because we kind of bond over the episode sometimes. I know he's a huge fan as well. As far as music, I don't think I've listened to any new music. What about you, man? I know music's your fucking lane. Have you listened to any cool music this week?
It's been a lot of like Conan Gray, Noah Khan, like the folksy stuff that I've been into lately since like October-ish. It's pretty much been just more of that. Um, I don't think I've really found anything new necessarily. I did discover, and this was kind of an interesting moment for me. Um, I think it might have even been on. No, it couldn't have been on Thanksgiving Day. One of the days this week, I don't remember which one. I was listening to Noah Kahan's old music, and like the fourth or fifth song on his first album was a song that I had heard and loved before, and I didn't know it was him. It's called, I think it's just called "Hurt Somebody," and it's him and Julia Michaels. And I really liked that song when it was out, when it was popular. And I didn't know that it was him. And then more recently, Stick Season came out, and it got me like obsessed with him. And it, led to me going back and realizing that that was a song by him in the first place. And I just thought that was really cool. Um, I have really been into like the like R&B folk kind of music lately. I posted Ray J One Wish last weekend. I think it was last Sunday actually. I posted a Noah Khan song on Monday as my sort of chill jam of the day. Then I posted Labor by Paris Paloma on Tuesday, and I just said that it was my feminist anthem of the day because that song is an amazing feminist anthem. Uh, then I just randomly was in a mood where I had a song stuck in my head and I posted it. It was Black Eyed Peas' "Where's the Love" on Wednesday. I don't know if you remember that song at all. And then on Thanksgiving, I saw that Huntrix, the women who voiced the characters in K-pop Demon Hunters, performed Golden at the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, and I thought that was really cool, and I posted that. And then I think it was like Thursday night into yesterday morning, I posted Nelly Over and Over featuring Tim McGraw. And in the process, I remembered that in 2004, Nelly dropped two albums, completely separate albums with no overlap of songs, with totally different musical styles. So the one was called Sweat, and that was like a hip hop dance album, and then the other one was called Suit, and that was like a hybrid R&B rap album. And I always loved Suit. Sweat had some bangers on it. And then a year later, he put out Sweatsuit, which was a sort of compilation of the most popular songs from both of those albums. And I thought that was like a really cool little musical experiment that you really wouldn't see do anyone popular do these days. Because like Nelly, it's fucking Nelly. Like how many hit songs did he have back in the day? Like Ride With Me and Hot in Here and Country Grammar. Like he had a ton of big hits that were played on the radio constantly. And here he comes experimenting, dropping two separate albums with totally different musical styles, and even like again on Over and Over, he's collaborating with one of the most popular country artists in the world. And also, speaking of Tim McGraw, I discovered that he's not a total piece of shit apparently, which is really rare for country artists. Like, it's not to say that he's a leftist. I would never like expect any popular person who's famous and wealthy to be a full blown leftist. So when they are, I'm very surprised by it. But yeah, like Tim McGraw is like, like middle class white guy, liberal type guy. You know what I mean? Like he voted for Kamala Harris and
Yeah.
Joe Biden and shit. Like I was just blown away by that. But he's also, I don't know if you knew this, but he's married to Faith Hill, and Faith Hill was another woman who was really popular in the late '90s, early 2000s, and like broke through the country music ceiling and got a lot of play on pop charts like Taylor Swift did. So they're, I guess, kind of like a power couple in their own way. And then
Yeah.
just yesterday, I posted a song by Noah Khan with a woman named Joy Oladokun, and I loved the way that their voices meshed. She sounded great, and the name of the song is Someone Like You. And if you're in our Discord, definitely check that out. It's the most recent music video posted in the music channel. It's really beautiful. I loved it. So musically, that was my week. I was all over the damn place. R&B, folk, pop, country, like mostly R&B. But yeah, like I was all over the place this week musically. In terms of the stuff that we've watched though, John, we did watch It Welcome to Derry episode 5.
We did, we did. I mentioned, very hurriedly and briefly, Welcome to Dairy episode 5. But yeah, I mean, dude, I'm really enjoying it, and I gotta tell you, what Pennywise, fucking does to people in this series, it's almost like the movies, he was on easy mode against the kids. 'Cause I find him, just personally, I guess to put it another way, I find him more terrifying in this series than I did in the movies. I'm curious how you felt about that. I wanted to ask you about that for a while, actually.
Yeah,
Um,
I
you
mean, yeah, I can definitely see why you would say that because this show, maybe this is just a me thing. The show feels a little bit too reliant on just the visions. It's just like kids seeing stuff that's not really there. Like that seems to be what the entire show hinges on is Pennywise being able to create these illusions to try and like trap or get the kids or whatever. And I'm like, I don't know. It's I guess it's like it kind of comes back to
Mhm.
my natural dislike for unreliable narrator type stories, and that's exactly what's going on here. But other than that, I am enjoying the show. The acting is really good. The little girl, I don't even know how old she is, honestly. She might be an adult for all I know, that she just looks young. But the girl that they got to play Lily, I think, is a really good little actress. I'm guessing she's a
Yes.
teenager, but yeah, she's a great little actress. Um, this episode this week was extra fucked up because you had, I think what was his name, Freddy, show up out of nowhere, and it like seemed like he was alive, but then it turned out that that was literally Pennywise the whole fucking time. That was scary as hell.
Yes.
The scene in, I will say, the scene in the sewers where the dad tries to shoot the kid without realizing that it was not Pennywise or an illusion, and his friggin' military guy partner literally steps in front of the gun instead of just moving it out of the way, and he gets shot and killed. I hated that. I hate it when shows and movies do ridiculous, unreasonable shit to try and force you to feel things. Like that guy did not have to die. That guy did not have to get in front of that gun. I thought that was really dumb, personally.
And I would agree. Also on shows, especially because Bestie brought it up, and I want to talk about it anyway. AP fucking Bio, baby. Ashton introduced me to this show. He's already watched the first 2 seasons, right?
I believe so. Yeah,
Um,
something like that.
so we're rewatching it to catch my slow ass up, and I gotta tell you, it has been absolutely wonderful. I didn't realize that the guy that plays Jack, the actor, he's Dennis on Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yep.
Because I've only watched, I think, like 2, maybe 3 episodes of Always Sunny. I didn't take to it. I've been wanting to give it another look though, even though there's a shit ton of seasons. Um,
I've watched a few episodes and decided it's just not for me because like
yeah,
everyone in that show is an awful person and there's just no one to root for.
Yeah, but here's the benefit though, if you're like us and you didn't take to Always Sunny the first time, a lot of people when I go back on AP Bio episodes of scenes that I've already seen, so I'm not spoiling myself, they say like it's just Dennis, but in a more obviously family friendly context because AP Bio isn't nearly as like crude or assholery or however you want to say it than Always Sunny.
Right.
And that's great because to me, I love the humor in that context. Like, I think it actually works better in that context than when everybody is miserable and fucking awful,
Yeah.
right? I think that's why foils fucking work because when you have a guy that is a very clear standout as an asshole, and all these kids are just like, what are we even doing here? Like, it just makes for great comedy. And I'll tell you, I think for me, AP Bio kind of taught me as far as my comedic tastes that a good comedy to me is always one with a strong supporting cast that isn't just a hard carry by like a singular protagonist. because I swear every character in this show gives me something to smile about, even if I don't necessarily like them. I see why they're in that world, and they kind of endear themselves to be in that context. Like, I don't really care for Colin, for instance. I think he's a little shit, but that's precisely why he works, because the show knows he's a little shit too. Um, even things because like you and I kind of were dunking on the character Victor, like how the actor does the voice. So like Victor's voice and Jack, the teacher, he comments on that. Like, oh, speak fewer words. Where I forget how he said it, but it was just funny that he brought that up when
I
we've
think
had problems with his
I think he
voice.
said something along the lines of like, "Oh God, what did he say?" I forget what it started out as. Oh, he said you got to speak faster, and if you can't speak faster, at least use fewer words. That's what it was.
Yeah, and we just thought that was amazing because we were just saying like, this fucking voice.
It's
It's a
really for
great
me. It's
show.
less the voice and the more like almost like the rhythm of his speech because he almost is like he's like this like up and down like rhythm to his speech, where rather than
Yeah,
just being like oh you know my mom embarrassed me at school the other day. He'll be like, "My mom embarrassed me at school the other day," and it's this very
yeah,
like
yeah,
up and down, like almost sing-songy type speech pattern, and it just annoys the fuck out of me. And yeah, so
yeah,
yeah, Jack actually like called him out for it, and he was like talking like in caveman speech. It was actually kind of funny.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, dude. It was fucking great. It was fucking great. And just the whole show again. I don't really want to say too much because I myself am only in the first season still with Ashton on the rewatch. I'm excited to get to season 3 because that'll be new for both of us. But yeah, if you haven't seen it, check it out. It's hilarious. The main
You
guy,
know, there's
and
someone
what?
already in our Discord that's here right now that's seen AP Bio and loves it, and that's Alex Foster.
Oh, cool. So, Foster, you can imagine how much I related to Jack being a disgruntled philosophy professor from Harvard, now having to teach a high school biology class. It was just so relatable. And really, too, it's funny that it's fucking Dennis from Always Sunny and like how he looks, because I swear that's an alt universe version of me. If different things in my life had fucking happened. So it's very easy to step into his shoes as a viewer for me personally, which just heightens my enjoyment of the show considerably. So yeah, that's a big thing. Anything else you can think of, man, to talk about?
Bel Air. You already talked about Bel Air actually.
I already talked about Bel Air, yeah, a good
God.
bit. Yeah, God.
Um, St. Dennis Medical, new season.
Again, again that was another hurried remark, much like Welcome to Derry. Not too much to say there. I'm still enjoying the comedy.
I'm enjoying
I
this
think
season a lot. I feel like the first season took like a few episodes at least, maybe even like 5 to 10 episodes to really hit its stride. Like the first few episodes, it was like, yeah, I'll laugh, but you're not really earning it as much as you should be. And now I feel like they're really earning my laughter consistently, and I'm really enjoying it.
I will say, just from a comedic standpoint, I think Ron and Joyce are my favorite characters because I think they make me. Oh, and Bruce,
You
Ron,
love
Joyce, and
Bruce.
Bruce.
Bruce, I can't stand Bruce. He annoys the shit. But here's the thing, though. It's not like I hate him like with Cody Rhodes, where I just want him gone. It's I love to hate Bruce. He's a character who's fun to hate because he's an asshole. He's a narcissist, and it's awful. But
Yeah,
it's fun to laugh at him.
yeah. No, I'll tell you, like even me recently, because it did something in a season 2 episode. Because I know the season's still ongoing. Um, oh, I want to say this too. Um, that apparently St. Dennis Medical was canceled, so this second season is going to be its last. I was curious
Oh,
how well it was
what?
doing.
That's a
But then
shame
again,
too, because we tried to watch that DMV show and it was just not good to me.
that DMV show fucking sucked. Yeah, it fucking sucked. Which is a shame because I love Tim Meadows to death. God, I wanted him to really like, and I think he did for
Holy
his
shit,
part. He
Ace is
nailed
here
his part of the
again.
show. Oh yeah, I did notice that earlier. Great to see him, and I really hope it's a trend. I didn't want to make a big deal out of it like last week because that was your triumphant return. But now I just hope that this is the new pattern. Um, but yeah. Um, but then again, bro, here's the thing. I don't even know how much because that was the first result, but it was the AI overview result that the show was canceled. So
Ah,
It could be wrong. It could be wrong because I have not seen any news stories about about it being canceled. So we'll have to see when season 2 ends if like a decision comes out swiftly or maybe, it will get renewed. I think my sister just shrieked upstairs. I think they're gaming and something crazy is happening.
Well,
So that
that's
was weird.
fun.
I know. But no, I too have been enjoying the season, man. And oh yeah, with Bruce, there was a something he did in a recent fucking episode that even like I cringed, and I was like, okay, Bruce, you need to be taken down a peg. So he's really effective, like the actor at who Bruce is supposed to be, and even a guy like me who just eats that shit up. Even I'm like, all right, relax. So it's cool. He's very effective. Um. So yeah, I can't really think of much else. I know while Chris's dad was here because that was the family that I was kind of with this week as we did kind of Thanksgiving here. We rewatched Rick and Morty, so that was interesting.
So
I
I'm
gotta
I'm on
tell
a
you,
website. I'm on a website called the TV Ratings Guide, and
yeah,
on Thursday, November 6th, so this would have been like a little over 3 weeks ago, they posted a story called NBC Renew slash Cancel Week 7. St. Denis Medical still has a pulse. And they actually said that St. Denis was a likely renewal. I don't think that anything official has come out about St. Denis Medical, whether it was going to get renewed or canceled, but this website at least is saying that it is likely to get renewed.
it's good because I really do think that this is a comedy where I agree with you about the first season, and that's why I try and be gentle with some first seasons if I see the promise of something because I understand too that like a first season, especially in this day and age where you're not going to get as many episodes, which is crazy because going back to DMV for just a second, apparently NBC or wait was it CBS? I think it was actually CBS. CBS believed in this show so much they did a 20 episode order. I didn't laugh once during the okay, maybe one line from Tim Meadows, but that
Dude,
was it.
yeah,
Like
Tim
I did not
Meadows is
laugh out.
absolutely like I wish Tim Meadows was just on a better show, honestly, because he's
Yeah,
fantastic.
dude, give him more roles like that Peacemaker role. Not exactly that role, but you get what I mean. Where it's like pronounced screen time. You let him be a comedic character. He could be sincere or a villain. I've seen the guy do both. He was way too talented for that shit. In fact, if I was Tim Meadows' agent, I'm like, I don't know what you charge to be on this show, but we're upping your fucking rate because to me, the distance between him and everybody else on that show was a fucking chasm to me. So I just hope
I
he gets
did
something
I
better
did
going forward.
enjoy the I forget his name. Tony Cavallero. Tony Cavallero on that show. That's the guy that was Keith in Righteous Gemstones. I thought he was the next funniest guy on there person. The next funniest person on
Yeah,
the show. I mean honestly, I might as well just say guy because all of the women in the show are written horribly.
that is another advantage of AP Bio. I love how the women are written on that because they
Dude,
at least feel
and here's the
human.
thing: you say women, but that applies to both the adult women, like the teachers, and the female students are written really well too. My
Dude, I have
favorite
to say it's
character in the
more
whole
yeah.
show is Heather, the female student. Like she's great.
Oh, yeah, she would have popped off on you, boss. Oh, Heather. Oh my God. Yes,
Her and
dude. I
Helen,
can't.
actually, her and Helen, Durbin's
Yeah,
assistant, the principal's assistant, Helen. Those are my two favorite characters in the whole show. They're so well written. I love them, and they're totally
dude.
different
Yeah,
characters too. Like this isn't a show where all the women are written to just be generic characters. They're very vibrant characters, and I love
dude. Absolutely.
it.
And I gotta say too. Like I know we're kind of in an age where I do feel like child and teen actors and actresses are on the whole more talented than they used to be, but I still think it's impressive when the writing can justify that and really show it off. Like I'm really impressed with how AP, I was going to say AI because AI is just on my brain, but how AP Bio has really written its high school characters and everything else. It doesn't feel cliche. It doesn't feel cringe. Even when they kind of do like kind of a tribute, like oh every high schooler has that crazy party or whatever. It felt so sincere how they did that episode.
hmm
And it didn't feel cliched.
Dude, and
And
fucking
yeah,
Victor takes one shot, and then by the
yeah,
end, he's talking about how I gotta go take care of this before I black out.
yeah, exactly, exactly. Um, Amazing show. I can't
Yeah,
wait to get back into it with you tonight, which is, why I'll be excited to wrap this up. So I'm going to say that we're done here on pop culture because I can't think of anything else, and you already exhausted music, and you kind of covered what we're both watching and all that stuff.
yeah.
So let's
I
look
mean,
at
in
Q
terms
and
of
A.
games, just
Yeah.
quickly, I did play a new game. Well, like a new full game this week. There's a game called Gemporium. It's the full name is I think like Gemporium Acute Mining Sim or something like that. But I had played the demo before because it was a game that my mom showed a lot of interest in because she loves gems and stones and precious minerals and stuff like that. So I didn't buy, I literally downloaded Steam on her computer for her and got her a Steam account so that she could get the demo of this game. And I got it too and just started playing it. I got hooked. And then I saw that it was on sale for 25% off on Steam. So I actually bought two copies. I bought one for her and one for myself. And I've actually gotten more into the full version of the game than she is.
That's hot. Sharing is caring and
Yeah.
finding things you enjoy. That's sexy all the way down. Um, all right. Let's get into questions.
Yes. Do we just want to just start right away with Super Blues set? Because I think he's the only person that submitted questions this week.
You know what? Yeah, Super Blue, he's active in the chat right now. This is the Super Blue Variety Hour, baby. Let's get to his questions.
Question number one: how do you feel about the end of Doge?
I don't even really know if I believe in the quote unquote end. But if it is the end, great. I mean, we're still dealing with fascism, so it feels like a minor victory. Um, Elon Musk, I wish I believed in a hell because he deserves to go there. Doge cut pediatric cancer research. It tried to make many institutions. I think it succeeded to a certain degree, making institutions inefficient and stuff like that. Why? Because all of these people want to do is mass privatization. Nothing owned by the public, everything privatized and controlled by corporations. That's another reason why I hate Russ Vogt, because with all the federal firings and everything, if you make those institutions sluggish and whatever, and especially because I know Doge was behind this, and now even still parts of the fascist administration want to do this, making certain government functions done by AI. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ, do I even need to say anything else? So yeah, I mean, I'll take it, but I'm not, river dancing over it just because everything is still so awful and Elon still exists. And really, here's the thing. If Doge is ending, the next follow-up question I think we should all be asking is, what did Elon get out of the bargain? Because I'm thinking he got a
Data.
lot of our data.
He
And yeah,
got data to feed
yeah,
Grok to make his AI better.
yeah, and God knows what else, right? Because we're in an age of surveillance capitalism, of techno capitalism, just anything capitalism that, of course, isn't good because it's capitalism. And so yeah, I'm happy about it, sure, but like I'm tired, Super Blue, and I think you understand that. I'm very tired. Do you have any thoughts about it?
Um, about what specifically?
Doge ending, Doge ending. Just going back to the
Oh,
question.
not really. It's kind of incredible that someone can do so much damage so quickly and then have to pay absolutely zero repercussions or consequences for it.
Fucking wild, right?
And that
Ah,
applies to Elon, but it also just applies to Trump because I mean Trump's only been in office for 10 months now. Oh my God! Even just saying it out loud is so fucking depressing. Jesus Christ!
right, right.
Oh fuck!
It's fogged, bro.
Yeah, he's only been in office for 10 months now, and it feels like we've been living in this hellhole for decades already.
Yeah, yeah, dude. And it's gonna take us decades to recover from this if we even recover. And really, what does recovery even mean? Because I don't want to go back to US fucking empire bullshit. Like I am so, so fucking done with this. Um, Next question.
Rank the final four from least to most deserving to face John Cena in his last match.
Okay.
Oh, it's like the final four in the tournament.
Oh, I don't know who that is. I thought he was gonna list the names. I'm sorry. Do we? Because I know Jey Uso advanced. I know LA Knight advanced, but who did Gunther advance? I'm
Yeah.
guessing Gunther
So the
advanced.
four are Gunther, Solo, LA, and Jay.
I don't like any of them. I don't like any of them for
Yeah.
this.
Honestly, I don't God, this is bad. This is really, really bad. This is horrible. First of all, let's just get it out there because I know that this is going to immediately upset Super Blue. Least deserving by far is LA Knight.
See, and here's where it gets interesting. I only disagree with you because I'm also trying to look at it from the perspective of who's really gotten that hard main event push. So I put Jay and Gunther at the bottom. And then I might even put LA Knight as like second
I
most
would put
deserving.
LA and J. I would say LA 4, J 3. And I'm honestly
Yeah,
debating between whether Gunther or Solo would quote unquote deserve it more. I gotta go Gunther. Solo, I would say Solo deserves it over Jey Uso because like literally just 1-to-1 compare them. Jey Uso is 8 years older, smaller, less charismatic, and already over enough with the crowd that he doesn't fucking need it. Solo can ride the I retired John Cena wagon for his entire career, and he's only 32 years old. Jay's 40. LA Knight, in the meantime, is a fucking babyface. Are you going to turn LA Knight heel by having him be the one to retire John Cena? That sounds ridiculous to me. And he's 43 fucking years old. He's almost as old as Cena. His last match is going to be within the next 5 years, probably.
yeah.
So yeah, I'll say LA Knight 4, Jey Uso 3. And honestly, you could even make an argument that Jey Uso deserves it the least. But
That's what I'm kind of saying, yeah.
yeah, I think there's definitely an argument to be had there. But then I think I would put Solo at 2 and Gunther at 1. I think Gunther out of those 4, if I had to pick, I would definitely want it to be on Gunther because like he's held the secondary world title, but he's never held the title, and he is the only heel out of these 4 that feels worthy of the main title. So you have him retire John Cena. He gets to use that as promo bait for his entire career, promo fuel, I should say, as his entire career. And yeah, you can even use that to then put him in like the main event of WrestleMania this coming year and have him win the WWE title from Cody.
Yeah,
Maybe Gunther finally wins the Royal Rumble next year, although I doubt it.
dude, I know.
I'm still locked
Um,
in on Phil winning it, honestly.
yeah,
Although he doesn't need it now because he's the world champion already, so maybe not.
yeah. Okay, so let me give my more extensive thoughts. If you're good, that is. I don't wanna
Yeah,
step
yeah,
on
yeah.
you here.
One
Okay.
Gunther, 2 Solo, 3. I'll say Jay, and then 4 LA.
From the perspective that you're looking at it from, I completely agree with you. Like, I think the only reason I said it was because I think you could look at it from different vantage points. And like I said at the start, it was more like, well, who's gotten rubs already? I will say about Jey Uso, and I think I've been very patient, I've been very kind, I've been very courteous with Jay. I'm starting to think that I might have been wrong about my earlier assessments of him. And I might have even been wrong about Jimmy Uso, but I don't want to have that conversation with myself right now. I'm already in a bad place mentally. We don't want to do that. Shit. Because I feel like with Jay, if you're talking about John Cena, he already eliminated John Cena from the Royal Rumble this year. Like it was him and John Cena as the final 2. He can
Yeah.
say that he
He
already
got
got
that
the
rub
Cena rub.
already. Yeah.
Yeah, he got that rub already via the Rumble. So I don't even want to hear about Jey Uso. And I don't mean that disrespectfully to any of his fans. I love you guys, anybody that's a Jey Uso fan in here. But yeah, like I'm kind of over it right now. LA Knight fucking sucks. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. He fucking sucks. Like I I'm like severely disabled as far as like muscular tension and stuff like that. I would not make a good pro wrestler, and yet somehow, and maybe it's my own arrogance, of which I confess that I have. I feel like I move better than LA Knight does.
LA Knight
Does
is
that make
LA Knight is the
yeah?
Zack Ryder of the 2020s.
And you know what? I really don't care for Matt Carbonara. He doesn't deserve me to say his name properly. But like I at least remember when he was getting his push to the US title, he could work decently enough. And it didn't hurt that he was working off a guy like Ziggler, who at the time, I feel like his style and like his whole gimmick, it did come at the perfect time. It was kind of lightning in a bottle that I don't, still to this day, don't think it got pushed enough. And then we were all kind of over it. It's like the whole Kevin Owens promo. Maybe it should have been you and it was you at one time, but then it wasn't, and just get over it. That's really where I am
Yeah.
with that. But
I mean,
but
you
yeah, I
could
miss
literally say
Kevin.
that
Yeah.
exact same thing to LA Knight.
Yeah, yeah, I think you could. I think you could. Side note, I really miss Kevin Owens. I need to get that out there. I miss him so much.
Yeah.
Fuck. That'd probably be the
It's
only thing I would watch regularly, would just be Kevin Owens promos if he was still able to work a fucking stick
right.
or do something that I could hear him talk. But anyway, I do agree with you about LA Knight, and I just think far less sophisticatedly, he fucking sucks. He's old, he's winded. I think
He's
if you
stiff
really wanted, he's stiff. I mean, here's the thing,
and
bro.
not in a good
There are
way.
people, yeah, there are people that praise his TNA work when he was Eli Drake. I vehemently disagree. But this is a problem that I have with like a lot of people that really made their name in TNA. If you really had that WWE curiosity, I would, for a lot of them, they should have jumped like 10 or so years ago. Even guys like Joe, who I thought had a decent WWE run, I still think, like, man, if he would have come earlier, you know? And dude, I can't believe, I love Samoa Joe to death. No disrespect to Joe. Seems like a fucking sweetheart. I cannot believe he's AEW World Champion. Again, I love you, Joe, but for real, like, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah.
Um, so
And the
yeah,
fact that
like,
he beat Hangman for it too.
yeah, dude. And again, love Joe. This isn't even a diss about Joe at all. It's like, come on now, you know.
I mean, it's a
But yeah,
little
I
bit
mean,
of a diss about Joe just because, like, it's not about him as a wrestler. It's just his age. He's old.
yeah, yeah, he is. And I think Joe. I want to believe that Joe is so humble in his shit, like he wouldn't even deny it, right? I think he just takes it because, for one thing, you're not going to tell your boss no, and two, he does seem like one of the few adults in that locker room that can actually carry that title in the more political sense. So whatever. But yeah, LA Knight fucking sucks. If he really wanted the WWE dream and the money, like, I don't know, it should have been at least 10 years fucking
Well,
earlier.
dude,
At
here's the crazy
least.
thing. He was in the WWE system 15 years ago when FCW was a thing and NXT was just starting up. He was there. He was already in the system, and they let him go because he didn't have a real personality. He was literally just doing a rock impression, and then he just kept doing that everywhere he went, and it got him over enough in TNA that it put him on WWE's radar, and they brought him in.
What I'm in, I know the insult that I want to end this with on LA Knight.
Nice.
He really is what would happen if, like, AI ever had the chance to become a wrestler.
Yes.
I think he's the prototype of an AI fucking wrestler. That's LA Knight. Go fuck yourself, LA. Yeah, fuck you. God, we need Kevin Owens. I need real talent back on my fucking television. Not that there isn't any, but like it just fuck capitalism and fuck everything. Anyway, so Gunther, who's gotten his Walter theme music back, cool. Yeah, Super
Yeah.
Blue. I knew my AI comment was what got him finally. Super Blue, listen, I love you, but I'm right.
I
And
love
eventually
it.
you're gonna see
You
that.
are. You're so right.
And eventually, Super Blue, you're gonna see that. And if you don't, here's the wonderful part: that's not my problem. So it's all okay. Gunther got the Walter music back. Chilling my inner Jack there a little bit. I love Gunther. I think he's the wrestler's wrestler. I think when you have somebody that could really fit with like the Billy Robinson and the Bruno Sammartino and those type wrestlers, but can also be so contemporary at the same time. I love him. I get, and let me say this too, because I want to see what Foster said earlier. Oh yeah, he said with how they both going through, I'm kind of over him. I get that too, because I'll be honest, I kind of hate how he dropped the title to Punk. And Foster, to be fair to you, you might even be talking from more of a perspective of overexposure. Like I've seen too much of him. He's been too much in the main event scene. Like they need to cool him off, and they're already going to give it. He just comes back, and he's already going to get Cena. I honestly get that. I love Gunther, so I'm going to look the other way on it, but I can see why people would be like, eh. Honestly, unironically, I kind of agree with Foster here. I don't think Solo's ever going to be the main eventer that WWE wants him to be, but I think he's so much better than he used to be, even just from a personality standpoint. Giving him Cena might actually be interesting. And given that his team, the MFTs, beat Team Sammy in the traditional Survivor Series match on SmackDown, that is a little bit of a push that I wouldn't mind if they carried it all the way to the tournament. And plus, Gunther doesn't need it, man. Like I really don't think you need to spread the big opportunities around a bit so that you have more than one star. If you concentrate all these accolades into Gunther, don't leave scraps for everybody else. This is the model that WWE has been abiding by for years, and we've complained about it for years. Spread that love around. I'm gonna go with Foster on this. I actually hope that that Solo wins the whole thing. Honestly, I don't think he will, because if Super Blue's saying that LA's starting to crack, I'm wondering if they are going to turn him heel and then LA goes on this main event heel run. But again, if I don't care about it, who gives a shit, right? So that's my very arrogant and dismissive answer on that. So yeah, go solo, I think. Next question from Super Blue.
I just wanted to chime in that I can actually definitely see the angle for Solo, because I also think that there is a non-zero chance that Cena actually wins in this last match of his,
Yeah.
and avenging his very embarrassing Saudi Arabia loss to Solo Sikoa would be a great way to use this last match of his.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
And plus, it would still give Solo the rub of I might have lost, but I still retired John Cena. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And Solo
Exactly.
is the one in this group that really does kind of have the personality to pull that off too.
Yes. Oh my god, yes, for
So
sure.
yeah. All right.
All
Next
right.
question is just for me. He said, "Do you see Dion getting fired for Colorado after this season?" Let me pull up Colorado on ESPN because I am not familiar with them at all. I just haven't been paying attention, honestly. They are they still in the Big? No. Are they in the Big? No. What conference is Colorado in? There they are. They're in the Big 12. That's what I thought they were in. Just couldn't find them. I thought it was in alphabetical order and it wasn't. So yeah, Colorado's 3-9 this year. Um, they don't really have good quarterback play. They're not really running the ball all that well. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Dion will get fired after this one season. They might give him another season or two to try and really get like a team of just his guys as a recruiter. But it wouldn't surprise me either. It wouldn't surprise me at all. Uh, since Dion's son Shador left the program, it's like, what are you really doing for us now that you aren't literally using your own son as your own quarterback and keeping us relevant through that? And actually, even last year, I think they weren't even that good. The 2024 Colorado Buffs. They were actually pretty good. They only had 3 losses in the regular season. So yeah, maybe he gets another season, but I'm not 100% sure on that. We'll see. Next question from Super Blue, though. Back to being for both of us, John. How would you book
Yes.
Survivor Series to make it worth watching? He said adding matches, replacing people, and so on.
Oh god. I'm gonna be honest, like, I've just gotten so checked out and burnt out on wrestling, I don't even know if I could give an adequate answer to this question. I honestly think they're using war games as a crutch. So I honestly would revert back to traditional Survivor Series matches, but as Ashton has said for a number of years, I don't think he's had to say it lately because they've just gone all in on war games. I would have stakes. I would have stakes. I know he has specifically said stakes for the Royal Rumble, and stuff like that. I agree with that. If you wanted to do what Bischoff did, in kayfabe for the 2004 Survivor Series, Team Warner versus Team Triple H, Nick Aldis, if he had two warring teams, or if Adam Pearce wanted to do it. Adam Pearce has even said in an interview in kayfabe, like, "Oh, I embraced the chaos of Monday Night Raw because that was a time when like backstage fights were happening a lot and stuff like that, where the winning team gets control of the show for a whole month, a week to each member of the winning team." I would kind of make those kinds of matches matter again. And I would get away from war games a little bit because I don't like when stip matches kind of become tradition. And look, that is a bit hypocritical of me because Money in the Bank is my favorite pay-per-view. But even that, I've even said, like, I wouldn't mind if they kind of, scaled that back because we've seen how they've used the briefcases the last little bit. I'm realizing that gimmicks for gimmick's sake, like, it doesn't help anybody. You got to make it matter. Remember when Hell in a Cell used to really matter? When two people really hated each other and you heard those words and you're like, "Oh man, fucking bloodbath coming." Like, I would like to get war games back to that and just be like, "Man, these two teams, they're fighting in parking lots, they're fighting backstage. They broke into a hospital where a wrestler was transported. They're fighting there. They're hitting each other with bedpans. Like, this can only be contained in the cage, in the war games cage." But we don't really do that. It's like the garnish on the plate of a match, and I don't like that. So if I was booking a Survivor Series, I would revert to traditional 5-on-5. And again, I would take what Ashton's been saying a number of years. I would do stakes. Maybe the winning team, you get to have a fatal 5-way. Winner of that gets number 30 in women's rumble or whatever. Or maybe again, they control the show for a month. And stuff like that. I think I would like world title matches. I don't like that Survivor Series is always a pay-per-view where champions kind of get off scot-free a little bit because it's like, oh, well, you're in the big 5-on-5 or you're in the War Game. And that's another thing. I would kind of save 5-on-5 for like the under and upper mid card people that are just about to break through. But I would still have my main event champions, defend their titles, so that kind of, gets people's interest. Um, and yeah, I don't know. I looked at that card and I'm like, I really don't care about the cards. I'd probably just do my own card from the bottom up. But yeah, that's kind of my booking philosophy, I guess, a little bit, to give you somewhat of a sincere answer without getting too into it, because I am just so checked out on WWE and everything. What about you, though, man? How would you approach Survivor Series?
First of all, I agree with you. Fuck War Games, get rid of it. And it's for totally different reasons, actually. I do partially agree with you because I do agree that, like, you know, rather than, oh, we're going to do War Games because this blood feud has gotten so personal that it's the only way to really settle it, they're doing, oh, we're doing War Games because it's November.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like,
Yeah,
it's like the way they used to do, oh, we're doing Hell in a Cell because it's fucking October or whatever. Like, it's definitely lame. Um, but I would get rid of the War Games concept as a Survivor Series thing specifically, and save it for when a really good faction versus faction feud gets to the point of being a blood feud, and then you break out War Games. But for Survivor Series, I would also do the regular traditional 5-on-5 Survivor Series matches for both the men and the women, and I would have it so that the winning team gets to have a round robin tournament where the winning individual performer of that round robin tournament, the person who finishes that round robin tournament with the most points, gets to choose what number they will enter the Royal Rumble at.
yeah,
So if it is like, let's say, just again, I know this didn't actually happen, but let's say Brock Lesnar won the Royal, or Brock Lesnar's team would have won the Survivor Series 5-on-5 match tonight. I would do a round robin tournament where you do Brock and all of the other guys on his team. So Brock, Braun, Bronson, Logan Paul, Drew McIntyre in a round robin tournament, basically where they all face each other. And then let's say Brock would win the whole thing, and he would be like, I had a lot of fun back in that 2020 Rumble. I want to do it again. I'm going to enter at 1. Or if Drew were to win, he would be like, I'm sick and tired of getting screwed. I finally control my own fate. Obviously, I'm entering at 30. Like, you would let them choose what number they enter at. Or maybe it would be like Logan Paul, and he would be like, hey, I'm a wrestling historian, so I know that more people have won the Royal Rumble from number 27 than any other spot. So I'm entering at 27. I know that's not true. But the point is, rather than just immediately saying, oh, you get number 30, you let them choose their own. And then you can write, that can be like part of their character. They can really kind of impose their character onto the decision that they go with as far as what number they pick. Most of the time, it would just be number 30, but I still think it would be interesting. And then you could go in order of those 5. Basically, whoever wins the tournament gets to pick first. Whoever has the next most points in the tournament gets to pick next. And then 3, and then 4, and then 5. And you give those 5 people the opportunity to choose their own entrance numbers into the Royal Rumble. And then you could even do some kind of an interesting storyline where, let's say that, like, kind of like that year where Lana was the only reason that her team won the Survivor Series 5-on-5. You could do the
yeah,
round robin tournament and have Lana lose every match, but then as a small sign of respect to Lana, you could have the 4 women who are in front of her choose not number 30 so that Lana could pick number 30 and have it be like a character arc of, like, Lana finally earned the respect of her peers by putting up a fight in those round robin matches, helping them, being the only reason they won the Survivor Series match, and now they're giving her the respect of allowing her, because they view her as the MVP of their team, allowing her to pick the number 30. Like, there's so much story to be mined out of these Survivor Series matches, and they just don't give a fuck. They just do it for the spectacle, and they just move on. That's it.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. All right, I'm good to move on to the next question personally.
All right, next question from Super Blue is, what would a clean, or who would win a death battle between Ash and Yugi?
Oh, definitely Yugi. Those Yami powers, those Millennium like item power, like yeah, Yugi definitely.
Okay, but how's he gonna get to Ash through all of his Pokemon?
I feel like the power of the Millennium Puzzle, you could just trap them in some separate realm or whatever, or you can mind crush them all at once. I don't know if it's like a one-to-one thing, but I just feel like the Millennium items, like you just can't discount their power. Even individually, even when they're not together to summon Zork with that fucking dragon penis.
Okay,
I think even
here's
individually they're
here's here. I agree with you that Yugi with all of his Millennium powers would win versus Ash and all of his Pokemon. What if neither one of them was allowed to shift forms or use any extra help? What if it was just little Yugi versus Ash Ketchum in a fist fight?
I think Ash wins that, honestly.
I think I agree. I think Yugi might even refuse to fight back, low key.
Yuki would have like an 11 moment where he'd be like, mind crush, and then nothing would happen. He'd be like, oh, fuck. And then he'd get decked in the face. uh, damn.
All right. Next question from Super Blue is the last. Or no, we have two left actually. So penultimate question from Super Blue. What are you thankful for this week? My friends and
Yeah.
family.
Yeah, same. I'm thankful for my friends and family, and God knows I'm thankful for philosophy keeping me sane in this fucking shithole world. So yeah,
Oh,
friends,
yeah.
family, philosophy.
Friends,
The
family, and video games, and cartoons, and anime, and movies, and TV shows.
fuck yeah, brother. I'll just say
Basically,
philosophy.
friends,
Yeah,
family, and media is what I'm going to
yeah.
say.
I'm gonna say it's an all-encompassing thing because I would include philosophy as part of this. Friends, family, and culture. Just
There you
culture.
go.
I'm just
That
so glad that
works.
we have fucking culture. All right, final question.
Who would win WCW War Games between Undisputed Era and Dark State?
I think Undisputed Era, honestly, because I saw that
Yeah.
question. I've been kind of thinking about it. NXT, like Black and Gold era, NXT, Undisputed Era. Yes, like I like
NXT
Dark Side a lot.
Undisputed
Yeah.
Era. I mean, here's the thing: they literally had a dynasty. There was literally a point where they all had titles. Like, what else
Yes.
do you need to say? Dark State had to use all four members to win the tag titles from Hank and Tank, and lost them to a 50-year-old Hardy Boys. I think that if we're speaking strictly on talent, I would probably pick Dark State because I do think that Dark State's talent level is above Undisputed Era's. But like, talent doesn't matter when you aren't the one controlling the booking. The bookers would pick
Yes.
Undisputed Era for sure.
Yeah. Also, just a quick note on NXT since you mentioned Dark State, I am rooting for Dion Lennox for men's Iron Survivor, and I'm rooting for Sol Ruka for women's. Very disappointed that Tatum did not get a spot in women's this year. I thought that was a missed
she's
opportunity given that she
she's
just held the
probably going to be
title.
challenging to get the title back on the same night as Iron Survivor, right?
Possibly. We have to see because I don't even know. I didn't watch NXT and I didn't see any YouTube clips uploaded
Me
about this.
neither.
Just her and Izzy Dame. You know, I don't know how they're going to follow up with that because Izzy Dame kind of screwed her out of the title. Well, not even kind of. She did screw her out of the title. So yeah, go Sol Ruka and go Dion Lennox. I'll probably be wrong on both because, God forbid I'm happy, but we'll see what happens. And yeah, that's it, right? Those are questions.
Yeah, I'm looking at Iron Survivor, and it's going to be for the women. It's going to be Soul, Lola, Kalani, Jordan, and Kendall. That's nice to see.
Yeah.
Um, and then for the men, it's going to be Javon, Leon Slater from TNA. That's awesome. Joe Hendry, Dion Lennox, and Miles Bourne. I am going to predict that the winners of these matches are going to be Sol Ruka. I think you're going to get that, and Miles Bourne.
I'm thinking either like as far as who I think actually has a shot. I do think Dion's on the board only because of Dark State, but I think the two top contenders are Miles and Javon. I love
They
Javon to
have been
death, but I
building
think
the
that moment,
fuck out of
yeah,
Miles as an underdog babyface. I definitely think it's his year to win.
dude, he beat Trick to qualify. Like, yeah, I think he's like as far as actual favorites, I think he's 1A and Javon is maybe even not 1B and maybe he just might be 2. But yeah, unfortunately, like I love Javon to death, but I feel like that moment kind of passed. Like I still nothing against Ricky Saints. I actually like him more in the NXT system than I did in AEW. I still feel like Javon should have been the one to beat Oba. I feel like that was such a missed opportunity there, but that's just me.
Yep.
But what can you do? It's over now. All right. high spots and low shots just for the week in
Oh
life. Yeah.
man.
God,
Low
yeah.
shot. Anybody who was planning on buying any kind of computer over the course of the next like half a decade, honestly.
Uh, can I choose my own face for the low shot just because I'm in
No.
this timeline?
No.
Wow, okay. That's that wow, okay. Just got overruled by another face, and it only works because it's a face I respect. Um,
That's gotta chap your ass.
it does a little because I was told what to do, and I'm like, well, I mean, it is a great face, so I just have to fucking concede.
Fuck.
Right? I know. You know what? It's such a moral and I'll admit because of that hollow thing, but fuck it. It's our show and I'm in a fucking mood and I really don't care. My low shot honestly is the MAGA movement and all of its auxiliary, like libs of TikTok and all those people, because you really are the most pathetic people. You again, just to reiterate, because I know I ranted a lot and I would apologize for that, but I at least believed in everything I said. So we can't say that I don't have conviction, right?
No
They
one would ever say that.
celebrated this week. I appreciate that. Um, they literally celebrated, quote unquote, reclaiming the R word because it was used against Tim Walz. That is the most pathetic shit I've ever seen in my fucking life. I really can't believe that on a planet with so many millions, if not billions, because I have to understand again, I have to take my own advice and I have to remember who the fucking enemy is, especially with how dead the internet very clearly is, with so many people actually being fucking bots from other countries. That that the actual people that are in power, of all the billions that you could have chosen from, are the worst, most insecure, most infantile, immature fucking people. We reclaimed the R word. We're so back. Are you fucking serious? Like, I
Who was that
remember,
exactly that tweeted that specific tweet?
dude, libs of TikTok said
Uh,
it. I think somebody else said it. That who knows? They might have been a bot to be fair, but I know libs of TikTok said it. They're like, "Oh, Trump called Walls the R word. We are so back." Imagine celebrating that when, like, if you actually believed in statecraft, or if you actually believed in fucking anything, you could
which they
celebrate,
don't.
oh my god. Well, that's just doing politics, right? I should really just say it. It's just more the way of, like, forming a state, building a nation, doing politics, right? You celebrate that when any leader that liberalism wants us to believe exists, that fucking West Wing syndrome, fucking Aaron Sorkin. Oh my God, we got vaccination rates up for this deadly disease up to herd immunity. Oh my God, we just achieved 90% literacy rate. Oh, like, these are things worth celebrating. And your leader, who hasn't done fuck all except the really fascist shit that you like the deportation and everything else. And even then, I don't even know. I'd be curious what his numbers are at this point, because I know Obama was literally called deporter in chief. So a black Democrat might have even been better at that than your prized fucking white fucking geriatric. Um, is using a slur against somebody, and you're cheerleading like, oh my god, this is just a golden age indeed. You're pathetic. You're losers. I really like, death would be a mercy to you because your life is so fucking innately miserable. They are easily my low shot, because I'll tell you something, guys. No matter how miserable we may be, even if they do take the art from us, we'll just make our own. We'll just keep finding our own joy because we are stubborn as fuck, and that is our one redeeming quality in this shithole, is that we are fucking stubborn. They are my low. Every fascist that's ever fucking breathed is my low shot, because your life is so fucking sad. You thought the only answer, the only viable way out, was hating harder and hating other people that weren't you. You're fucking pathetic. Get fucking help. Who did you already say a low shot? I'm
My low
sorry,
shot
because I
was
feel like,
anybody who wanted to build any
yes,
kind of computer or buy any kind of computer for the next half a decade, because I really don't see these
yes,
prices coming down anytime soon. Really, I could even expand it. Like, my low shot is anybody who is going to try and buy any product that is affected by AI over the next half. I wouldn't be surprised if water prices started increasing, honestly, because of it.
dude.
We know energy
We're getting,
prices are going up like crazy.
yeah, even here, because I don't even know if we have any data centers in New Hampshire, at least not close to us, and even like yeah, energy's going up. So even if you're like, my state doesn't have data centers, that may not even fucking matter. Like it is fucking crazy what's happening with energy. Oh well, we have a climate fucking catastrophe.
And the
Who is your
minimum
high
wage is
spot?
still the same that it was almost 2 decades ago at this point.
I am begging just to see one billionaire get eaten, just one. I don't even have to taste it, and you know I've dreamed of cannibalism my whole life. I want it so bad. I don't even it doesn't even have to be me anymore. I just need to see it happen. But who is your high spot, good sir?
Oh God,
Dude, I know.
it's
I
so hard
know.
to be optimistic right now.
It is. It really is.
Um, Shit, man, high spot. Where do you usually go first on these? What the hell happened?
Like, you know what? You're right. I'm gonna do it just because I was so in love with that tone, even though it
No,
was
you know
coming
what?
from
I
me.
have one now. My high spot is Sandfall Interactive, the video game company that developed Clear Obscure Expedition 33, because that game was nominated for 12 game awards this year, and that just came out, I think maybe this week. It might have been sooner than that, but the game awards are coming up in a couple weeks, and the nominations just came out very recently. I think they came out this week. It might have been longer ago, but yeah, the group that made Claire Obscure Expedition 33, they are like a smaller, from what I understand, a smaller developer. They're considered to be an indie game by a lot of people. And yeah, they got the most nominees at the Game Awards by far. They have 12 nominations, and the two games tied for the next most nominations are Death Stranding 2 and Ghost of Yote, which are both only nominated for 7 each. So 12 to 7. And then there are a bunch of other games with less nominations, but yeah.
Oh. I loved everything about your answer, including all of the tone that was happening beforehand, because it went from like, "Why aren't you going first?" to "No, fuck you, I found an answer." Just perfection, honestly, no notes. My high spot is, and you actually gave me time to come up with what I think is a good one. I'm gonna give it to a fucking sweetheart, Deborah Ann Woll, whose series Tales from Wood Creek, which if any of you are into D&D, you should check it out on YouTube. That's what I mean when I say we'll still create our own art, because she got her friends together. They're doing a D&D campaign that also has like escape rooms, and it's interactive. It's not just people, in a single room with a board, rolling die or whatever. Like it's kind of open world in a manner of speaking, and she made that, and she's so passionate about it. As long as people have that kind of passion and keep creating their own art like that and then sharing it with the rest of us, I think it'll keep inspiring people to do the same. I think, at least for now, and I don't know for how long, that's anybody's guess, but people can see that human art is still vastly superior to what AI is putting out. And I really appreciate people like her, because she's kind, she's creating her own thing, and it's so imaginative, and it's a great escape from a lot of things happening. And that's what I want to celebrate her, and really what she is emblematic of, that is really my high spot at bottom, is just anybody with any artistic spirit that just creates their own shit, whether you're an academic and you write your own stuff, or you're an artist and you paint or sculpt your own stuff, or you make your own music, whatever, just create. Just because that's the thing. You're gonna need the creation to go along with all their destruction that's just so inane and fucking disgusting. But art really does promise, I think, a better world, and all of us putting just our talents and everything together can make a better world. And I think even just, yeah, Tales from Wood Creek is just a small microcosm of the truth of that. So I'm
I
gonna give it to
mean,
her and just anybody with an artistic spirit.
if you
So
ask Mr. Jack Griffin from AP Bio, destruction and creation are the same thing.
that is true. That is God, he's so wise and incredibly handsome, but wise, but more importantly handsome. And yeah, it's just so right. All right, we are done at 12:30. Not as bad as I would have thought, I guess.
We
All
also
right,
didn't
guys,
go
leave a
live at exactly 10:30. We've been live for an hour 43 now.
It's not bad. That's not bad. All right, guys, be sure to leave a like as you file out, subscribe, click the bell icon for notifications so you miss any of that 12 goodness. Check out
Yeah.
everything we're involved in the description box. Follow us on Blue Sky and Twitch, because we are the best wrestling podcast in
Yeah,
all the IWC.
I wanted to say something about that. Are we really a wrestling podcast anymore?
I don't I don't think so.
Are we even
And
really wrestling fans anymore?
But you know what's so funny about that? And again, it's only because I'm feeling myself, and I'll probably regret it tomorrow. We cannot talk about wrestling, and we'd still be a better wrestling podcast than most people that do talk about
You're
wrestling.
so right.
Uh Being toxic isn't a personality, suck less.
Yeah, you
Uh
know what else isn't a
so
personality? Being British.
God, oh damn. Damn. Given the anti-colonial literature I'm reading, you're damn fucking right. Yeah. Also, No, you know what? That's too far. That's too mean. Never mind. All right. Anyway, I, I need to know. Somebody needs to tell me once a day. It's time to stop, and I need to be reined in. I
Should
know
I
that I'm a
just send you
problem.
that Filthy
Everyone,
Frank video every day?
you should. You should just to remind me, John. We love you, but there's a limit, honey. Like rein it in, okay? Uh, So, yeah, guys, again, we're going to be catching up on Money Gold and Stardom this week. Do we want to even just pick a day real quick, Tuesday or Wednesday, to do
Well, when
Money
is your
Gold to
family day,
start? And
bud?
then, yeah. You know what? You're right. You're right. Family days are Tuesday, so Wednesday should be a Money
There
Gold
you
day if we're
go.
going to do
We'll go
Money
back to
Gold.
back Wednesday, Thursday. Boom, boom.
All right. Well, we'll keep up with you guys, in the Discord. Discord's $3 a month. But what the Money Gold load is going to look like, even if it's like 7 matches, I don't give a fucking shit. We're going to get it done and we're going to be right back in the groove of things. And then, yeah, Stardom is always reserved for Thursday. So be there. And then if you're like, John, I don't give a shit about that Joshi stuff. First of all, I mean, how dare you, kind of? But also, as somebody that's just burned out on wrestling, I also just get it. But then also, fine, fine. Just come here and see me be a stark, raving, mad, depressed man, just on a road to nowhere, ranting about our political situation, and Ashton being sensible and giving cute opinions about music and pop culture and also politics. And I mentioned everything except wrestling because, again, not really wrestling fans anymore. Next Saturday at 10:30 for the next TWitWoW weekly recap. So we'll see your beautiful faces there. Have a great rest of your weekend, guys. Enjoy Sunday football. Maybe if you're into that. If not, I don't know. Read a book. That's what I'm planning on doing. And
Most of
yeah,
the
until
people
then,
that are here right now are actually football fans. I know for a fact that Super Blue is, and Alex Foster is. I'm pretty sure Dominique is as well. So yeah, you're actually speaking to our audience.
you know what? I love that for you all. Me personally, I'm gonna be again just doing a lot of reading. I've
The
been kind of in
Lions
a
already
groove, so
lost
I
on
don't want.
Thursday, unfortunately.
Well, that's and
The
you know what? You
Ravens
really
also
called it.
lost on
Yeah.
Thursday, which is just awful.
My son deserves better than this.
He
Okay,
does.
I'm gonna have to fix that some way, somehow on my own time. But regardless, yeah, just enjoy your weekend, whatever it is. And as always, and I mean it more than ever, this last like year and the foreseeable future, be good to yourselves. I mean, the billionaires are already hating us all enough. We really shouldn't be hating ourselves, and I need to take that advice first and foremost, and I'm working on it.
Treat
Okay.
yourself with
Be g-
kindness. And I don't just
Yes.
mean blow smoke up your own ass all the time. I mean genuinely allow yourself to make mistakes and forgive yourself for them.
Yeah, learn because I guarantee you, you're more open to learning than our fucking despots right now, and the people that are like, "I'm rich. What do I need to learn?" I don't
That's
know.
right.
Being a fucking human being, Jesus fucking Christ.
I can
Be good to
literally
each other.
hear your voice coming through your hands.
Yeah, yeah. It's pain all the way down, bud.
Hmm.
It hurts to be alive. Be good to each other because I reiterate, billionaires are already hard enough on all of us. Do not give them the division they want. Racism is stupid. Patriarchy is stupid. Systems of domination are fucking awful. I'll tell you one downside of reading anti-colonial literature, as much as I love it, I can't help but have the earworm in my brain now of thinking how many wonderful cultures were destroyed before they really had a chance to mature.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, so that's a nice dark passenger to have, with me when I just live my life. That's cool. That's really cool. So yeah, be good with to each other. And honestly, if you could do that in a political context of like building solidarity so that we can get rid of these fucking people, I mean, that would just be great. So think about that.
Thanks,
And
Lumberg.
yeah, absolutely. And so yeah, until then, be good to yourselves and each other again. Tune in and